That gets us thinking about this year's rookie class, where Johnny pointed out, we were talking before the show, it's truly wide open. The top picks in the draft, typically we're talking about those players, whether it was Austin Matthews his year or Connor McDavid. These are all names we know. We've seen these guys play. These are the top 10 prospects, according to NHL Network. We got to talk with Trevor and had him in tears. He was laughing so hard at the swag he demonstrated in the arrival interview before the gold medal game of the World Juniors. I turn to you, Johnny, because you have your own top 5. That top 10 is solid.
Yes.
But you've got your top 5, and it starts with a young man who played on the gold medal winning team alongside Zegras and then played in the Cup final, Cole Caulfield.
And I think when you think about rookies that have an impact, obviously you talk about talent, but then you also have to talk about opportunity. And this is where Cole Caulfield will really step forward, is that because he's played, he's got some experience. You mentioned he's got the trust of his organization and his coach, so he's not going to worry about that. And he's got a relationship with Suzuki. He's going to be the #1 offensive winger. And I think the success he had last year will just spur him on, because he's a guy who carries himself with a lot of confidence, but now knows, and doesn't just believe, but knows he can score at the NHL level, at the highest level. So, I mean, 70 games last year, he scored 43. When you add them all up from all the different spots.
That's awesome.
He can score goals, and I think, you know, that's what it's going to take to be an impact rookie. I think Cole Caulfield is going to have a monster year in Montreal. They're resituating some things in the power play. No Shea Weber. He's probably going to be the featured shooting guy. A lot of things look like it makes sense for him to score a lot of goals.
Now, Johnny's not the only one that sees it that way. If you go on the World Wide Web and go to www.twitter.com and follow Trevor Zegras, you'll see that his teammate that also won gold thinks he's going for 40.
Hot take.
Wow. This is what I love about hockey players. They're predicting success for one another.
He'd know. He'd play with them.
He would.
He could shoot.
That tells you it's real.
I'm bullish. I'm not that bullish, but I'm bullish on Cole Caulfield.
So clearly, the research department here at NHL Network bullish on Trevor Zegras, who played 24 games for the Ducks, just under the number that you're allowed to play and still be considered a rookie. How about Zegras?
He's #2 on my list. Trevor Zegras, absolutely, again, opportunity. Anaheim can't score goals. They need offensive impact players. That's what Trevor Zegras is. And when you look at his performance in the NHL so far, he scored like almost at a 40-point pace, despite having an absurdly low shooting percentage for himself and his teammates when he's on the ice. That will rectify. When it does go back to something more normal, even with the same caliber of play and chance creation, he'll get way more points, let alone him improving, which he will as he gets bigger, older, more mature, stronger. And this year will be his breakout year. We've seen him be big time in big moments. Think about his performance at the World Junior Tournament where he lit it up. I expect him to be one of the leading point-getting rookies this year.
So, Johnny, the year that William Karlsson had 43 goals, Johnny pointed out his shooting percentage was extraordinarily high. He said he will not shoot that percentage next year. Because I said, you know, can he even be in that neighborhood goal-wise? So you pointing out just how low Zegras' shooting percentage, I'm fascinated when Johnny talks about the underlying numbers. From Zegras, we shift our focus to a German that is so talented.
So this is going to be hard for Mo Seider to win the Rookie of the Year, because he's a defenseman. Doesn't happen often. Cale Mccarr, Aaron Ekblad, but he plays for Detroit, and he's going to have a hard time producing a ton of points. But you want to talk about impact. He's going to be about as impactful a rookie as there is, because he's going to play a ton, Tone. He's going to play massive minutes, all situations. He's played against pros in Germany for a while, so he's used to playing against men. He's going to be more than just fine. I've seen him at the Worlds. I've seen him internationally. He's going to fit in very nicely and be an impact player on Detroit. And if all goes well, he'll be in that kind of conversation for the all-rookie team and maybe Rookie of the Year if it goes accordingly. I'm not sure he's got enough points because teams will be defending Detroit hard. They don't score that much. So he's on my list. Then, as I hate to do a Tone, you know I don't like giving goalies too much love, but there's a couple of goalies you got to think about when you're talking about impact rookies. And Spencer Knight, who we've been talking about for a long time, he might not even have to get the starting job the whole year, but if he has a 1B split with Bobrovsky, which is not out of the question, he gets the starting job on a really good Florida team, and he puts up 25, 30 wins, then all of a sudden he has to be in that conversation. And what in his history would not tell us that he won't be really good?
Seriously.
Everywhere he's gone, he's been really...
Including there.
Really, really good. So I know Bob's the incumbent, but Bob's leash is short there. And if Spencer Knight takes that role, then watch for him to have a massive year because Florida's a good team. He's a good goalie. He could be make a kind of dark horse candidate if it all falls into place. And one more guy, Jeremy Swayman.
Oh, Boston Bruins.
For the Boston Bruins. Who's the starting goalie for Boston? Swayman.
Yeah.
And the Bruins, yeah, they're going through some transitions. They're still good. They're still going to be really, really good. And they play great defense. I know he's not Tuukka Rask, but he put up good numbers, both at Maine, college, and in Boston. And if he gets the majority of the starts, he's going to get a ton of wins. He's going to have a good goals against. Save percentage is probably going to be pretty solid. Look what he did last year.
Hello.
Like, I don't care where you're playing. Play rec league. Those are great numbers. And so I know he's a little bit older. He's been around a little bit longer as far as, playing hockey. But I think he could be another guy, much like Nedeljkovic last year, who plays for a good team and gets a lot of kudos for it. So those are my top 5. And before we throw it to you, one dark horse. He might not play one game in the NHL, or he might lead all rookies in scoring. Marco Rossi, Minnesota Wild. We missed some time there with the COVID and everything else. And he's lighting it up in development camp. Who knows what's happening with Kaprizov? If he gets in the top 6, if he plays in a scoring role, that guy is so good offensively. He will pile it up. And maybe if Kaprizov doesn't show up right away, he gets his foot in the door and then look out when he starts there. Now, he might spend the whole year in the minors. But if he doesn't, he's my very, very wild card. Marco Rossi could be exceptional.